Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company Podcast. I'm Dane Hennen.
Yeah,
to my left.
Dane's back.
By the way, I'm back. In case you, missed me or something.
He's alive, folks.
You may not have noticed because I was in the last podcast, but there was a little break in between where I was out.
You were
because
we'll
I
just
was
say you were under
out
general anesthetic.
in an operating room.
Yeah.
So I had my guts rearranged, so that's
exploratory surgery.
They just wanted to see what was going on.
Yeah. Well, sometimes the doctors come to you and say, we just want to poke some holes in you and see what's going on inside there.
Said we've never seen somebody get a whole Slim Jim lodged inside an intestine before.
We'd like
to do
because
some research on that.
It was not a blockage of
but these guys are
Slim
insistent
Jims,
it was. So.
Broken Slim Jims and wrappers, similar to what we saw on the Boise River earlier this week.
So before you get too far along, let me introduce the rest of you because you're just voices now. For those just joining us, you may not be aware, but we are the Rag Company Podcast. I am Dane Hennen. To my right, Levi Gates.
Oh, yeah.
Across from me, Anthony Fisher.
Hey, hey.
And to my left, Morgan McMurray.
Hello.
And that's everybody.
Yeah,
so,
nice.
What about the dude under the table, Dane?
We don't talk about him.
Yeah.
Tim, he's right here.
Oh, God.
It's actually Frank from Always Sunny. He needed
Tim's
a place
actually
to
on the other
sleep.
side of the ball.
Yeah.
Any rate, guys, so you had a weekend. We're recording this on a Tuesday
have weekends.
because I wasn't available yesterday. Still kind of So today I'm feeling up to it. I'm good.
Well,
so I can actually talk now.
Yeah. Well, and we got to see Anthony and I got to see your lovely face on Friday.
Right.
We came over to your parents' house and we had to stop and get some plywood.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when we got there, we were under the impression that we needed to move you from one room to the other. So that's why we got the plywood. But it turns out, actually, your parents were going to be doing some home construction projects, and they needed to move furniture.
Turns out,
get it out of the way.
Literally no one wants to move a grand piano. Also, I was told by the doctors I could not help move or lift anything.
You're fine.
I'm at a 10-pound weight limit restriction for a few weeks.
Yeah.
10
Which
pounds
is not fun.
A whole lot.
10 pounds is not much. Like, I pick up a few of
pounds.
these and I'm done for.
Yeah.
I just literally explode.
But it was fun because we did get to see you, and you were up walking around, and you were doing pretty good, and it had been 3 or 4 days since your surgery.
At that point, I was still a little high, but, you know.
Yeah, well, you had the pain pills and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but
pretty good.
So let the audience know what happened. Basically, you had been having, ever since we got back,
it was weird. I didn't notice anything until, like, a day after the day we got back. So there was a little
because we were sick. Like, we were fighting colds.
Everybody was sick.
And you were like, I feel like crap, too, but it was different.
But I was like a little sick. But like
pain.
when I woke up in the middle of the night to let my dog out, I felt this like really localized pain, like really specific. Like it felt like a specific organ was going, oh my God, this is bad.
Right.
When I just leaned up out of bed to go let my dog out, and I went, whoa, what's that?
So quick question then. So you know how every doctor asks you scale 1 to 10, what was your pain level? Realistically, because you can take, you don't complain a whole lot. You know what gas pain is. You know what heartburn is. You know all that. What was the level?
I tolerate a lot before I complain. On a scale of 1 to 10 for me, when I got up that morning, it was a 9.
Holy shit! Okay, so holy crap!
Yeah,
it was.
It was enough to make him go to the you literally went to the doc in the box. They were like, we don't know what it is.
Well,
go to the ER.
Here's what happened because I hadn't been to the doctor in like 8 years. I didn't have a primary care doctor. Like I just don't. Like, if I get sick, I go, great, I'll tough it out. I'll wait. Yeah. You know, unless
just
something
so you guys know, we do have
unusual.
Insurance here.
Yes, I have health insurance.
So
that's not the issue.
Because you didn't have it.
It's just literally like I don't feel the need. Like, I'm not one of those people who gets a sniffle and goes, I need to go to the ER. Like, that's not my thing. If that's you, I'm sorry. I just made fun of you. But, you know, that's not me. So
Dane is strong like wool.
I'll tolerate a lot before, well, you know, something's off. So I woke up that morning and I just thought, oh, that's not good. And I'd had friends who had like their appendix burst or something like that.
Yeah, my sister had that happen.
Not being a medical professional and not being, you know, particularly tied into medicine as a whole, I didn't know which side of my body my appendix was on.
Right.
The pain was on the left, but your appendix is supposed to be located on your right, as it turns out. So I Googled it and I went, okay, so it's not my appendix.
Okay.
But, of course, I didn't go down the WebMD rabbit hole because that just makes everybody decide,
like,
oh, God, I have lupus.
Bone cancer.
Yeah, I have the worst cancer.
Crap.
Yeah, so I was concerned, but I was like, I'm not falling for that. Yeah. So I just woke up, took a shower, and tried to see, like, did it go away? and it seemed like when I stood up, it was okay, but it was still kind of it just felt like your skin was tight, and it felt like whatever was there, just something didn't feel right, but it just felt like somebody grabbing it, squeezing.
Yeah.
As it turned out later, it was my intestines. So, yeah, not super.
So you went to the doc in the box.
I went to the doc, and they seemed to check, and they're like poking and prodding, and they're like, "Does this hurt at all?" And I'm like, "No." What was unusual about it was they could push and like move around, whatever. Nothing hurt. Like it just didn't. Like other contact didn't hurt. It's only when I moved, so like that muscle group around there.
That would rule out that there's possible organ inflammation. Because if they would have,
that's what I would have thought.
But if it would have been in pain or
I would have thought that
you
would be able to feel like something poking and prodding, but it didn't make it any worse. It was just like I was sitting at like on a scale of 1 to 10, I was sitting at like a 3 when I wasn't moving around or doing anything active. So I was like, okay, that's weird, and I haven't felt this before, so I better go check this out. And that's like a revelation for me because I don't do that. So that's why everybody was like, is Dane okay? Yeah. He never, like, it's just not a thing. So it was a big deal for me. But I went there. They kind of kept checking, ran all their tests, all the blood, urinalysis, all that business, and they couldn't find anything. They're like, it doesn't seem like anything. And then they got to an x-ray, and the last thing they did was the x-ray. They looked and they said, something's kind of weird on this x-ray. Like, I can't tell what it is because the x-ray isn't giving me enough information, but it almost looks like something's a little twisted, something
constricted,
something weird.
Pinched,
yeah. And I thought, well, I move and lift stuff, and I'd especially, every time we do a Wash Wednesday, I'm running around with a bunch of gear, moving it around, making all kinds of, like...
you were harnessed in the back of a Suburban going around a racetrack.
Yeah, and I did ride in a race car. That's the fastest, highest G, corners I've ever been in a vehicle, so there was that. They literally joked when we were there, this will rearrange your guts. Little did I realize they might have actually been right.
Yeah, they actually rearranged his guts.
Yeah, so... That was back in Atlanta. We'll have a video about that out someday. We're putting it on the back burner to get other things done. But anyway, back to my story. So they thought the x-ray was weird, and they said, okay, we thought it was going to be no big deal, and we thought we'd be able to like give you some Tylenol and you can go on your way home. But just to be sure, we're going to ask you to go to the ER downtown and get a CAT scan. So I was like, okay. So... all right. Of course, I'm hearing like dollar signs in my head.
Right,
I'm like, oh no, here
fun.
we go. Yeah. Every one of these is just like, and yes, I have insurance, but still, like,
well, you
think about that stuff. So,
well, and that's why you went to the dog in the box and not the ER right off.
And considering I don't normally do that stuff, I'm going, well, this is unusual. So, okay, well, go do that, and they look and they tell me even more so. Yeah, something's weird going on, but we need to get more advanced scans. So next thing I knew, they had me scheduled for a surgery as a just in case, and then a colonoscopy as a basically that's going to happen. So they basically decided, okay, go do the colonoscopy in like a week, and then they got that, and that's what happened, 2 weeks ago.
We were all pretty excited for Dane for that.
And then
we were making jokes. I'm sure you guys all kind of maybe heard about it.
Yeah, I always kind of alluded to it. I never just straight up said, but that's what happened. Yeah. So that was great.
They went in.
But they could not locate
what they needed. So they took it a step further.
It was
and they
perfectly
decided,
placed directly in the middle of his body. So they couldn't go in through his mouth and they couldn't go in through the back.
As it turns out, there was a stricture. This is what they decided was there's a stricture, basically like something was squeezing my intestine, just like, and this goes for anybody listening, like if you feel weird, go get checked out. You don't know what it might be. I had no idea this was a thing, but apparently there's like banding that can end up wrapping around your intestines and stuff and squeeze on them when it shouldn't. So that's what the surgery helped fix when I got it last week. I went in on Wednesday, and they basically, not to get graphic, but basically they just took that banding and they pulled it away. And they basically like reorganized my intestinal digestive system organs so that it was properly laid out. Basically like, oh, this is just a little out of order. We'll do a little dusting over here, just a little, and voila. Okay.
Now, don't go in a race car again.
Yeah.
That's what they'll say. We just put all that back. Please don't.
Yeah, now everything's in the right place. I look like I've been shot 3 times in the chest, so
it's
street that's street cred, badass, whatever.
Told Dane to get tattoos around them.
Well, like I offered that it would be cool to do like a train, like going from one tunnel into out another tunnel. It'd be kind of cool.
I love that.
Oh man, I do need to get some tats. I feel left out. But
I don't have any as well. Morgan, do you have any tattoos?
No.
Yet?
See, that's my problem.
So, yeah, you guys all feel left
I love
Rad Company logos on everybody.
I love tattoos because I'm like creative brained. I love art.
I don't
love
mind.
tattoos.
I've got some room in places that still need.
I'm so picky. It's hard for me to settle on something. I'm like that guy who's like, oh, I'd have tattoos too if only I could. I guess I couldn't choose.
I honestly don't remember. Like when we were in Atlanta, I literally remembered that I have my collarbone tattooed, right? And I called my wife. And was like, you guys want to hear something crazy? I was like, do you want to hear something crazy? She's like, what? I was like, so you don't have my name tattooed on my collarbone? And she's like, right. Because I do. I have the Bible passage that states Leviticus 19:28 tattooed on my collarbone, which is the passage that states not to get tattooed or make cuttings in thy flesh.
Because you were young and you're like, this would be ironic and cool.
Yeah, I did it when I was like 22. And I was like,
sounds like something I would have done.
And I just realized, right? So Hadley's birthday is on the 19th of March. Augie's birthday is on the 28th of April, 1928.
There you go.
So I have Leviticus 19:28 that I had tattooed on me when I was 22. How lucky is that my children were born on those dates?
I was going to say, so like most tattoos, we assign meaning to it after we get it because we're like, I need to make an excuse why this is going to work.
Yeah, I didn't have an excuse. I just did it.
Yeah.
Like none of my, like I've got
but it worked
tattoos.
Out, so.
I have some tattoos that have literally no meaning.
Like just cause.
I had time and I just didn't know what to do, so I was like, I picked something and put it on me.
Yeah.
I've got a top hat flower or a monocle flower.
So that's on the agenda, I'm sure. But basically, to cut a long story short, there was a point there when they were doing the surgery, they had a either or situation. They were either going to rearrange, which is what they ended up doing, and I'm very thankful for that, or they were literally going to cut that part out and resection my intestine. And I was freaked out about that because I was like, if I eat the wrong thing, if I do anything wrong, it could just cause issues down the road. And I was like, oh, I hope they don't have to do that. So fortunately, dodged that bullet. But in the process, still, don't feel great.
Well, no, and
because I got cut into.
So your folks had told us that they were worried about how much that they were going to have to cut out. Yeah. Because that would dictate.
Well, when they're talking about it, they're like, maybe 6 to 8 centimeters extra on top of what this other part we were going to do. Yeah. At a certain point, they're talking about like almost the length of this freaking bottle here in front of you.
They were literally saying like, if they only have to cut out like an inch, then Dane he'll probably be back to work after about a week. But if they have to cut like almost a foot,
they said like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, and then they're like, it's gonna be like 4 to 6 weeks, and we're like, what?
I don't know. Like if you're new to the podcast or you don't know the Rad Company or whatever. I have a lot of responsibilities around here that if I'm not here, things don't get done.
Don't lie.
Oh, tell me, do the thumbnails just appear out of thin air? Does the copy write itself? Do the videos, the Watch Wednesdays edit themselves?
Literally a ton of stuff that Dane needs to do. And if we were out without him for 6 weeks,
it would suck.
Say the building might
Creek.
Well,
the building might burn down.
Pretty miserable. Like you guys get to have all the fun, and I'm still stuck at home. And when you get stuck at home and you're on pain meds and you're not allowed to like do anything,
addiction ensues.
You get a little restless. So what do I do? I turn to Craigslist, and I get those Craigslist addictions of looking for cars that you want.
What'd you find?
I got on some weird, like, I hadn't gone on a Craigslist binge in a long time.
I've just started doing that in the evening.
You guys know Dane. Dane likes weird cars.
Right.
So I've decided, going forward,
did you see that?
I'm never going to have less than 2 cars. I'm always going to have 2 cars. I have 3 cars right now, but I'm never going to have less than 2.
Did you see the like mid-80s, late 70s Chevy van with the roof cap on it?
I did do a search for conversion vans just for fun.
It's got a scary monster face painted on it.
But no, for people listening,
it's only $3,000.
There are people who probably want to know like what kind of weird cars does Dane like. Well, I will inform you. I went on a search for 2003 to 2004 Infiniti M45 sedans.
Yeah.
Because they're the V8 weird Japanese, like you can do like a VIP build. They're cool, but nobody likes them.
Yeah, because
and they're cheap. Yeah, because they're ugly, but they're ugly in a way that I think could be cool.
I agree with you.
Like they have like that boxiness.
No, I love
but that kind of JDM.
They're rad.
They're cool, but they only came with an auto. So I was like, I need to do a manual swap. Then the other one was like, I was also interested in this. Is like there were only 660 of these made or so. Saab 97X Aero. So basically the Trailblazer SS, but with Saab skin.
Yeah.
That is also an interesting, weird LS2 powered all-wheel drive SUV. And I was looking, I was like, that'd be a cool camera car. And then I thought of camera cars, and I'm like, what about an Envoy XUV where it had the sliding roof?
Those broke all the
I know,
time.
everything in those broke. And I was like, but that'd be a great camera car when I was running. But then I was like, everything breaks. That's why they're cheap.
Then
and that's the problem is like,
everything
breaks. And then I got
those.
stuck on like Lexus LS sedans for a while. And I was like, yeah, big comfy cruiser.
$4,000,
That'd be cool. Yeah, you know, that could be all right. And I just went down that rabbit hole of like looking at all these things.
So which
like,
car were you going to get rid of to fund this?
That's the problem. Is like, as much as I love the Volvo is like my weird car chip. So I'd have to trade that weird car for another weird car.
You'd have to get rid of
I can't get rid of the
Just
Miata.
get rid of the C-Max. You don't drive it.
I can't get the C-Max is like the ultimate road trip car though. I get so much range out of it.
Yeah, but
It's
when are
hard
you going
to-
on road trips?
Well, what about
Not very often.
So,
but
yeah, so I'm gonna say that could go, or the
But yeah.
Miata.
the Miata is paid for. It's so cheap. Like it's worth more now than it was when I bought
There you
it.
go. There's
but
your LS
I'm
car.
just sitting on. That's what I want to do. I want to LS swap that thing. That'd be fun. Any rate, I don't mean to take up the whole section, but I went on a tangent. I looked at some cars.
Nice.
Yeah. You know,
Well, we're glad
got a little
you're back
interested. So
because like it,
yeah.
it really does feel different when you're not here. So
Oh. Well, I hope different isn't better because I'd feel sad if.
I'm not gonna say.
He's like, oh,
better.
I'm not gonna say that, but we certainly thought so.
No, it is odd when like we have our conversations and then like we go Dane. Dane's not here.
Well, that's why I tried to contribute on the Q&As.
Yeah,
the live.
no, that
So
was
like I'm
great,
leaving
like-
the comments and you're like, I think Dane's high on pain meds because what is he talking about with this? It's like,
But that
well,
was
if I was
fun.
there to explain
Yeah,
to you,
but
it would
was
have been
fun.
easier. But
It was fun to.
I thought it
to
was still
watch
fun.
that. Anthony's pouring some vodka into his energy drink.
Any
Maybe I
rate,
am. Maybe I'm
I
so
think it's just water.
Why are you doing it so slow?
So,
Yeah.
pouring it,
what'd you guys
Morgan.
do this weekend?
yeah. What about the rest of you? I've totally monopolized this
Morgan,
conversation.
what do you do this weekend?
I went
Yes.
to the Boise Roadster Show.
Nice.
And did you go back again other than when you went
No,
on
I just
Friday?
went on Friday.
You
That
didn't-
was it.
Yeah.
I didn't make it back. That was the problem. I couldn't
Well-
get back out there.
And so for you going there, I mean,
Mhm.
obviously it's not necessarily your car scene,
Right.
but it's still something you'd be interested in because it's cars.
Mhm.
So what does it feel like as someone who's like in your age group going to that kind of show?
I mean, it's still very easy to have the appreciation for those cars because obviously most of them were classic older cars that had been taken care of or restored to literally look incredible, which is an amount of money that I couldn't even imagine
Yeah.
that have gone into them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I
some of
saw
those
I saw
cars.
Charlie
Yeah.
and Bart, so we
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the crazy things is seeing just that. I don't have that, and I think that's where I see it because it's
Mhm.
still customization regardless.
Yeah.
It's taking something that was stock and changing it to yours to fit your personality.
Mhm.
But what's so crazy is how many different versions
Right.
of people. Like there's so much different personality in every single one of those cars.
Well, and
Mhm.
seeing like properly done paint, working at a
Oh,
company
yeah.
that sells detailing products, you can certainly tell the
However,
difference now.
there are some junky paint jobs.
Oh, and that's the thing is what I'm getting
The
at.
Roadster Show.
You can see
No,
it there, so you know
yeah.
the people who took care of their car with like
Yeah.
a California duster and some salt they sprayed on their car for
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah.
or an old towel that they found, like a bath towel or something,
Yeah.
beach
So
towel.
you got to see the Hudson.
Mhm.
What'd you think of that?
that.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
The other one that I really liked was the Cadillac right next to it, the
Mhm.
big red
Yeah.
59 Cadillac
Yeah.
that can.
Brando took a picture of some Cadillac that looked like a 59 or something.
I
saw
think
on his
that
story.
was the one.
That's the one.
Yeah,
That
Can Dig It-
looked.
Dave Can Dig It built that one.
That looked badass.
Yeah,
That was
it
cool.
was
That
cool. And
may
then there
be
was that
coming in
giant.
this
What
too.
was that giant thing?
The MIG metal car.
Yeah.
That's a dude. He's a metal fabricator
Mhm.
from Vegas, I think, and
Makes
he
sense.
built that. And they used to take that out to Burning Man,
Mm.
and they also
That
took it,
makes a lot
and
of
they-
sense.
And they took it to Wasteland Weekend.
Because it looks
Hmm.
like a Mad Max car.
Yeah,
it's
it was
crazy.
crazy.
iHeartRadio sponsored some of that build back. That was 10 years ago.
Hmm.
But it was
Okay.
back, and it had like a whole roof cage that they had built,
Yeah.
Yeah.
was
Does it
cool.
shoot fire, right?
and it shoots fire
It shoots
too.
No, of
fire
course.
because they also not only did they bring that to Burning Man, but they would bring that to the Electronic Daisy Carnival
Yeah.
in Las
Yep.
Vegas as
Yep.
well.
How would you
because-
know?
Because
I don't
Anthony
know.
used to be a raver.
Because it was a guess,
Oh.
Morgan.
Anthony had a thing for EDM shows, so you
Yeah.
show
You
up
know
to a
what?
lot of
Had?
those. Well, yeah.
What are you guys trying to say?
He's almost a
here?
married man now. He can't do that so
Anyway.
much anymore.
What else did you like that was there?
It's hard to remember. The truck that Creative Raps did was
Oh, the tube truck.
Yep. So I got to see that in person because I'd only
tube truck.
Yeah, I'd only see pictures of it. Yeah. So we finally got to see that in person, and it was pretty cool. Like how the wrap, like the chameleon wrap, kind of changes.
And
colors.
they printed on it, which was even more.
And
amazing.
it had like, I don't know if they did like a layer underneath, because it was like raised and something. Like they did a design underneath and then did it.
They probably did. They went pretty crazy on all the stuff they could do, but that one had the Viking Drive-In logo and Kenny's Rod Shop on it.
Yeah.
Because the owner of that truck owns the Viking.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that truck is for sale. You've seen it, the tube truck. It's been on the Shop Journal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's nice to see the Hudson was done. And then Lou's Pickup, which stopped by yesterday to pick up some supplies, was there next in the KRS booth. And we had a lot of friends there at the Roadster Show.
Yeah.
That's cool. Anyway, how was the rest of your weekend? I'm not going to
Good. Other than that, it was really nice outside, so it was nice to just relax and have sunshine coming through the windows.
Dane, did you wheel yourself in a wheelchair out to the patio or anything?
I actually went on a walk around my neighborhood because it was so nice. You couldn't not.
Yeah.
So
good.
I needed to get up and move around anyway. So yeah.
Well, you don't want to get blood clots after surgery.
No.
You have to kind of walk and move.
Yeah, those Craigslist binges, man. Blood clot city.
They tell you gotta make sure you're moving. You're like, I can't really move, and they're like, you gotta move because you're gonna get worse. Like, yeah. So Anthony, we were teaching him about surgery today, so that was fun.
Yeah, they were going into the in-depths of there's
hernias.
Different types of hernias, but I mean there's a particular hernia surgery that Levi had that he explained to me pretty in depth, and it was a little frightening.
It was a horror show for Anthony.
It was. Because I'm sitting here thinking I really need to focus on my breathing and how I pick things up from now on, because I don't want to stand up one day and say, "Oh no, something fell."
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
So
even worse, poor Morgan had to be here to hear it all. So yeah.
She enjoyed it as well. It was like a learning.
Well, she liked watching your expression.
Did you though?
That was the funnest part.
Well, at least I don't have that problem.
Yeah. Well, fair.
So I guess my weekend. So Friday night, I knocked out my manual transmission fluid change on my Civic. So I knocked that out. Just one of those things to where I really didn't have any recollection of when that had been done before, and
nothing exploded this time.
No, nothing exploded. It didn't do a double gasket or anything on it or anything like that. So no, super easy. I mean, just basically it's so nice. But little Honda Civic here, it's $20 worth of fluid, $1 worth of washers, and about 20 minutes of your time, and you're in and out. It was super simple. So knocked that out on Friday, and then the next morning woke up. What did I end up doing? I think I did more stuff around the house, and then later that night I actually went to a car show, an impromptu car meet show.
The Dutch Bros?
It was not at Dutch Bros.
Roaring Springs.
It was
Roaring Springs.
It was at I swear to you, it was at Roaring Springs,
nice.
And it was literally a last
the water
minute
park for those of you that are wondering.
In the parking lot, yeah. So we went out there. My friend Jason, the one with the blue Evo that was in our Watch Wednesday, he just finished up his turbo kit on his car, right? So
nothing blew up.
So nothing blew up, and it's pretty sweet because his car is under the hood. It's all titanium everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But what's awesome is that he's just running an open turbo, meaning that there's no intake or anything like that on it. So when you drive, you just hear this turbo whistling, and it is crazy. It sounds extremely wicked. And so he hasn't got it tuned yet, but he wanted to take it out and kind of show people. But we went out to this meet thing, and ended up snowing.
Well, it's just down the street from your house. That's nice.
But it snowed, and it was like 30-something degrees. It was one of those freakish. It got weirdly cold out of how warm it had been.
Yep.
And so we were there for a little bit. Said, let's peace out. So we went over to Sonic, parked the cars, ate some food, hung out for a little bit. Then the next morning, we had a beautiful day on Sunday. It was like absolutely, it was nice. 50, basically 48, 49 degrees or whatever it was, almost 50 degrees, and the sun was out. So it felt like a 60-degree day.
It was a warm sun.
Yeah. So I thought this would be the perfect time to test out my all-day Anthony. Anthony.
He said it himself. We didn't even have to push it this time.
Anthony,
that's right.
Anthony from TRC, Rag Company, TRC.
No, it's the all-day Anthony.
It doesn't really flow off the tongue
solution.
as easily.
It's my pressure washer solution package 2.0. Yeah. I didn't really have a 1.0 or anything like that.
Well, you haven't gotten the rest of the hosing and things like that.
Correct.
You literally
just skipped right
out
to
of the
the
box
2.0
with the Veloci MTM Hydro.
Yeah.
So
gun.
as some of you guys know, I picked up the Karcher 1700 Cube is what I got. Basically, you're looking at a sub $100 pressure washer, right around
$100,000.
Right around $100,000. Sorry, I can't talk today. Right around $100, and out of the box, you pretty much get the pressure washer with their own gun, rifle, whatever you want to.
It's not a rifle;
call
it's a pressure washer gun.
looks compared to the
wand.
snub,
it's a wand.
It's a wand compared to the snub gun that comes in the MTM kit. It feels like a rifle, but so I got that a couple months ago. And so I finally got to unbox it.
Did you get a filter for your garden hose yet?
Not yet, but I do need to do that.
I
already know which one I want to get, and it's pretty affordable. So basically, unbox that. The kit's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. A really easy little thing, but it's super light, easy to move. If you wanna mount it on a shelf, you can absolutely do that. But what I did is I just basically spent the time to get all the fittings and everything Tefloned onto my MTM Magnum kit. So the Magnum kit, if you guys aren't aware, we do sell it, and it does come with the SGS 28 handle, the little shorty handle, along with the PF22 foam cannon. So
it's a great price for both of them.
Great price, and it comes with the fittings too.
Yeah.
And the fittings are one of those important parts. So what I like is this is just a direct plug-and-play package. There's no proprietary fittings, nothing involved in this. So it's literally taking the fittings from the kit and putting them on to the hose that comes with the Karcher and everything else. So basically, put everything together, pulled the Civic out, and I was like, oh yeah, it's finally time to do this. So started washing, started spraying with water. It comes with a 15-degree nozzle. Out of the box, I would like a 25-degree nozzle, I believe is what it is. The green nozzle, I believe it's 25 degrees. I would like that more, so I ordered some of those. But started washing, bust out the foam cannon, and to my surprise, it did awesome. I mean, like literally, I was kind of worried, like, hey, is 1700 psi going to be enough to push this because it's only a 1.2. Is it GPM? Is it CPM? What is it?
GPM,
gallons
per minute.
Yeah, gallons per minute. So it's only a 1.2. So I was wondering, is this going to have enough power? And it did. And so with the different washes I was using, that was going fantastic. And then I'm just going to be open and honest with this because I want people to know that things do happen. I set down the gun. I walked away. I came back, went to spray it again. And for some reason, I was having issues, like meaning that the foam was not creating proper foam.
Right.
It wasn't sucking up enough product. And so I was sitting there like, okay, I know how to troubleshoot all this. So I took everything apart, looked at it. I blew things out with compressed air, put it back together. Same issue. Did it again.
It was lucky you had compressed air. You have the All Day Anthony air compressor solution
package
as well.
Yeah, and that is also
1.0. Oh,
yeah.
That was a 1.0.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still 1.0. I haven't upgraded it past what.
But it was good that you had that as well.
Yeah.
So
I blew everything out, and everything seemed fine. Plugged it back in, and was still having issues. So what I did is I changed the orifice to where it comes with I believe it's a 1.3, and then you can knock it down to a 1.1, which would be designed for anything less than anything less than 1.4 GPM. And so switched over to that. Still had the same issue. So that's kind of where my washing ended, and I was like, all right, I don't really know what's going on here. It just wasn't creating the foam, and which is funny because out of all 3 we have here, all the ones I've used on the road, and all of our washes, we don't do anything with them. No maintenance, no nothing.
Yeah, we just put foam in them or soap in them and spray, and then
people think you do something special with ours that doesn't happen on anyone else's, and they're like, how come yours works so well? They just do.
Literally, we leave product in there, and we just grab them and put them back in.
Frankly, we kind of neglect them. I mean,
absolutely. We absolutely neglect them. And so, with that said,
we're not asking you guys to neglect them. We do this mostly for testing the product to make sure that.
I mean, in retrospect, that's what we say.
If it can hang out, Dane, I wasn't going to say that.
Sometimes we forget, guys. Hey, we get really wrapped up. But anyway, so I was like, this is kind of weird. So I ended up hitting up MTM because I said, hey, this could be an educational thing for me so I can help people in the future if they have any issues. And so what they actually told me is to do is to take out the tubing, disassemble it as much as I feel comfortable doing, and then in certain areas blowing out with compressed air, and then also taking some toothpicks and picking things through to see if there's any clogs.
Yeah, there might have been a rock or dirt or something.
And they made a really good point.
Because you didn't filter your water going into your pressure washer.
Well, that's not where I messed up, right? Because you know what I did, and I'll tell you what. And this is where I could have messed up, and I'll just throw this out there. my wash bucket, right? I filled up my wash bucket with water first, right? I sprayed out my wash bucket to the best of my ability, right? Just sprayed it out really quick and then filled it up with water. The problem is I was filling up my actual pressure washer, my cartridge in that water, right? Yeah. For the foam cannon in that water, meaning that for some reason, if there was a little speck of sand or anything like
that, particulate could get in and get stuck.
Correct. And then that's getting sucked up through that hose, and they explain that no matter how big that is, if it hits up inside that assembly and that brass assembly and gets clogged or wedges itself in there,
seal it.
It can totally mess that up. And they said, we don't recommend filling it up in the bucket for that reason. But for me, I'm like, well, I've always done this, and I've never had any issues. Well, it's kind of more of a luck thing, and I've gotten lucky.
Well, and you do know that you have a higher ppm at your house because you have tested your water.
Yeah. And I know that I have harder water at my house, so I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, okay, what's the best way to fill this? So I think from now on,
brittle water filter.
I'm just gonna fill it up in the sink or do something other than just the hose and then filling it up in the bucket. So anyways, I still have to play with that, see if that fixed my issue. I'm hoping it did. I already picked through everything and already blew everything out. So I'm gonna try it next weekend and see how that worked. Other than that, though, had fun with that. If you're interested in picking up a cheap, affordable pressure washer solution package, I'm not going to give you an Amazon link, but I will just tell you, check out the Cartridge 1700. You can buy it through Amazon. I think Matt is also selling it at his store of Obsessed Garage, so you can pick it up through him as well. Along with, he has his package, which I think it comes with the Mosmatic gun and the PF22, versus if you were to go through us, you would get the SGS 28 and the PF22.
Yeah.
And I don't know how deep you want to go into the whole pressure washer thing, but I mean, that's, I think for a guy washing your car at your house and you just want foam, that's going to be more than enough.
Well, and my pressure washer
solution package,
my Master of Shine pressure washer solution package,
1.0 or
1.0 right now.
Yeah. 1.2.
It's I've got the Sunjoe.
Yeah.
2130 or whatever.
Yeah.
I can hear the cries of agony in the audience.
I love that machine.
So that's
the
thing.
Awesome.
It has great reviews, and I think for the price, I think that's another great option.
It's perfect.
I think that you paid $130 for it.
110, 120.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cheap.
And it's a wall mountable option.
And it comes on its own cart, but then it can be wall mount. I could take it off and mount it and do whatever. That's why I bought it.
Point is, though, it works for you, right?
I have a $5 Home Depot water filter that is an inline hose filter. So I plug that into the front of the unit, and then I plug my garden hose into it. So it filters the water as it comes in. And I want to just get a new pressure washer hose.
I'm curious.
Get like 25 feet of that, and then get the stubby gun, and I'll be good to go. And then that's version 2.0.
Yeah. I'm curious to see, like, you should take home some of my little water test strips and see what that filter does, if it does lower the parts per million on any of that.
It was literally $5. Like, I found it in the water section, and I was like, oh, well, I'll just get that. Like, it was crazy how, like...
And why those actually work okay, right, is because think about how much is your pressure washer shooting out, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? In comparison to a hose.
Oh, yeah.
A hose is going to rip through that super fast if you're shooting out stray water. Going through a pressure washer, you're going to get a little bit more life out of those resin cartridges or whatever the heck they are. And that's where it might be cheaper to go with that option, because you can buy
a ton of those.
You can buy, let's just say, you can buy 50 of those, right? At $5 a pop, and get however long that's going to get you.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can buy the CR spotless system and then pay $100 per.
I rarely use a pressure washer. Like, the most I'm excited about this is when the weather gets nice that I can pressure wash my house. That's what I'm really looking forward to, is like being able to just clean the outside of my house with it. Like, I used it on my wife's car once. I've washed a buddy of mine's truck with it. I think I've done like 2 or 3 cars with it. It's fine. It works. I mean, it does everything I need it to do. And that's all I care about. I'm going to pressure wash my driveway this winter.
Few things are as satisfying as just pressure washing a driveway or getting the siding on a house after it's been sitting for like 5 to 10 years. Or
it's it was funny because I have an alleyway right in the back of my house.
Clean the alley.
And my driveway is slanted, so it has a slight slant to it. So after I got done foaming everything, right, when I was producing some pretty wicked foam,
you foamed your driveway?
All of that alley, like the drainage, right, filled with foam. I'm talking like it would look like it snowed.
So the neighbors are looking over like,
so all these kids on their bicycle are riding by, and they're like, what what's this stuff? And they go,
don't eat it.
Bike, and they start like playing in it. And I'm sitting there like, well, it's just soap. So I mean, it could be worse. But I'm sitting there like, yeah, guys.
They start screaming because it's actually acid.
It's dirty.
It's like, whoa,
dirty soap water. I know, right? If I was using
foam and Ferrex.
Yeah, right.
If I was using the OG Decon wash, right? I'm like, don't touch that. Don't touch that.
Oh no.
But no, that was pretty much my whole weekend, and pretty easy.
Well, I took my kids to go see monster trucks.
Ooh,
I
yeah,
saw that. That looked like fun.
So Friday night, though, I went to the Roadster Show with Tim, and we got some footage for the future shop journals.
Nice.
So that way we could get just because the Hudson debuted at the Roadster Show. The tube truck was there with its new wrap at the Roadster Show. Lou's 54 GMC was there. That's been in a couple scenes. Was there. Jim Grant's 32 Ford that Jason Kilmer had come back to work on this summer was there. So we just went, wandered around, saw some of the stuff, said hi to a bunch of people. But then Friday night, Hadley took Taekwondo. So she got 4 free lessons. So we signed her up for it to do the 4 free. I still don't know if I want to get her into it because they want me to sign a 1-year commitment.
I was going to say, it gets a little expensive.
I was in Taekwondo as a kid, and it was expensive.
Yeah. And for 8-year-olds,
it's
hard to...
You just got to know if she's really going to commit to
it.
Or...
Yeah, well, and then they go like, hey, by the second one, we'll knock some money off the sign-up. And I'm like, but I don't know.
I don't know if I'm going to make it through the first,
the second, or the third. She may be by the fourth. Like I sign up a 1-year commitment, and by the fourth, like she doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Next thing you know, each belt is like
because eventually
and the gi is like $300.
Once
and then
you start getting into it, I mean, that's when it's really just like, do they want to run? Because you have to run in a weird circle. You have to do like you actually have to exercise, right?
Oh yeah.
And then beyond that. That's when it gets into, because I remember when I was doing all this, they give you homework to take home because you have to memorize certain things. And then after you do that, that's when you have to do testing, training, blah, blah, blah. And then you have to buy sparring gear.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Sparring gear is
that
not
gets
cheap.
expensive.
No, I know. I was looking through all the pricing because they lay it all out for you.
Yeah. Oh, they know.
But Hadley, I've never seen her more focused. I've never seen her listen so attentively. I've never seen her take direction from somebody so well. So that had its own benefits.
Well, that's why people do it a lot of times, is because it gives them discipline and structure, and there's good life lessons in it. Plus, I mean, self-defense is always handy. But
I literally told her, keep your eyes on Master Lee and look at him, and she did. She didn't do, like, she focused so hard and listened to everything he said, and it was crazy to see how well she did. So we're going again tonight.
Okay.
So I'll report back and see. But Carly's coming because she didn't get to come Friday night.
Yeah, you want to make sure it's not a fluke.
Yeah, because I was like, this is so... like
maybe it was just something so different that she just felt like she had to pay more attention because
she's been talking
like,
about it.
I can't fake this.
But she's been talking about wanting to do it for a year since they opened up down the street from our house. She sees the sign and she's like, I want to go do that. And 2 of her friends from school are in it. 2 girls, and so she's like, and so one of the girls brought her that pass and gave it to her. So she's been pretty excited about it, and so we'll see. So tonight will be fun. But so that was that Friday night. Saturday, I took the kids with my dad to go check out the monster trucks. We did Monster Jam. For any of you that have ever done that, the tickets are not cheap.
I haven't been in like
are you ready for
20
this?
years.
So it was at the Idaho Center. So there's the front section, right? First layer, and then the second, right? First layer seats were $50 a person.
Even for kids?
For Monster Jam. For kids, too. There was no delineation
between kids
and adults. At the Idaho Center.
Idaho Center, okay.
So right off the bat, in Nampa, of all places.
My hometown.
So I'm like, I got to pay $50 a seat for Nampa.
Yeah.
To watch monster trucks. Right? So I'm like, yeah, I can't afford that. Go to the next aisle. It's like $38. Like, yeah, I'm not cool with that either. So we get up to the next row. I get all the way up to, like, we're basically middle of the back, and
nosebleeds.
$17 a ticket.
Okay.
It was still with taxes $86.
Yeah.
For me, my dad, and my 2 kids. And then my dad goes, did you get the pit passes? So we can go meet the monster trucks and the racers, the drivers, and all that.
Don't mention that in front of
and
the kids. They're going to want it.
He called me and asked that. And I was like, no, I didn't. And he's like, why? I was like, because that was $15 a person to add that to it. And he's like, 60, but that would have been, that's a lot of money for that. Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah. But we went.
You thought it was free?
Yeah, no, but we went. We didn't do the pit passes, but the seats where we were at was actually just fine. Like the $17 seats were perfect because we still got to see the trucks.
They're monster trucks. You can still see them.
Yeah, they're perfectly fine. Like it was like I didn't see a real difference. That we saw Nate there.
Oh, cool.
Turns out my Facebook feed was full of people taking their kids to see the monster trucks, so that was kind of funny. The same time, but Augie kept telling me, Dad, the only thing I want to do today is watch monster trucks and eat cotton candy. Literally, we're going through security. And he's like, when are we getting the cotton candy? We're walking into the building. He's like, there's the cotton candy. When are we need to stop and get some of that. I was like, we're going to go find our seats first, bud. And then we're walking to our seats. When are we going to get cotton candy? There are guys selling cotton candy. Like, the guys walking around with the poles. Yeah. Cotton candy. I was like, let's get situated. Like, let's wait till the show starts. And then we'll actually we'll get some snacks and we'll do that. And he's like, we sit down in our seats. He's like, when are we getting cotton candy? The boy asked me probably 20 times before I got the cotton candy, right? I went, found the cotton candy.
You're probably going, what's the sugar content of this cotton
I did.
Candy?
Thankfully, it had all the carb count and all that. And it was 1/6 of a bag. That's how they had the serving size. It was 32 grams of carbohydrates. So not
pure
too
sugar.
bad. Pure sugar.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so anyway, I go to pay for it, right? $20 for a bag of cotton candy. With a free mask.
Wow.
So he got
the mask was free, guys.
The mask was free. So I got a free Gravedigger mask and a $20 bag of cotton candy. That's a normal bag of cotton candy. Oh. Yeah.
What you got was $15 cotton candy and a $5 mask.
No, what I got was $5 worth of cotton candy and $1 worth of mask is what I got for $20.
Oof.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy, the pricing. They had snow cones because Nate was there, so I saw him.
Yeah.
So I was texting him, did you get your $20 bag of cotton candy yet? And free mask. And he goes, no, we got this. We just got like some nachos and a soda or whatever. And I was like, did you get, he goes, oh, it was mini donuts. That's what they got. He goes, we got our mini donuts.
I love
and
my favorite.
I said, you need to go get
carnival food.
You need to go get your snow cone. Because that's a reasonable $15 for a snow cone.
I'm paying for shaved ice.
Comes in a collectible Monster Jam cup that is, I swear, had to have been 6 ounces. The tiniest little cup.
It's a shot glass.
It was a shot glass snow cone for $15. It was what in the world? So anyway, but my kids had a blast. My dad couldn't have been happier to be cuddling with my kids and watching monster trucks because he used to take me. So it was just one of those family bonding moments that was great.
I'm glad they still do that.
Yeah, and my kids were, there's nothing better than the sound of those things going full throttle.
It's fun.
Did they do any motorcycle stuff halfway through?
No, they didn't do any motorcycle stuff. They did ATV racing, though.
Oh, cool.
But 3 of the drivers of the monster trucks were girls.
Cool.
So that was rad. So Hadley was she couldn't believe. She's like, what? Girls can drive monsters? She was so stoked about that. And then a couple of the ATV racers were girls. And so
that's cool.
She thought that was, so she was cheering for all of them. She ended up knowing all their names by the time we left. She already knew the point standings. Once they showed it, she knew. And then she was starting to calculate all the points.
Well, they sell those booklets or whatever.
We didn't even we didn't get a booklet. Okay. My daughter's memory is that good. She just had all the numbers figured out and already knew that so and so needed to get to here to get. It was crazy to watch, but super fun. And then Saturday night, the wife and I went out again. This time we brought a babysitter to come to the house in the evening. So we put the kids to bed, close to bed. Had the babysitter put the kids to bed. And then we went out and went to a kind of a housewarming party for some friends and just went and hung out. And we came home about 12:30.
Nice.
And the babysitter's like, yeah, kids went to sleep. Hadley got up once. That was it.
Well, the babysitter had a pretty easy job at that point.
Babysitter had a pretty easy job. She did have to dose Augie because he did get high. And I had to walk her through it. But for Carly and I, it was a big, trying to get these getting the kids used to people watching them and doing that stuff has been, one, awesome to be able to, one, have time away from them, but two, they've been doing really good with it. So that's been a huge deal. And then Sunday we just hung out, went and visited my sister and my brother-in-law. They just had a new little boy named Everett. And so we went and saw my new nephew, and the kids got to hold him and do all that stuff. So that was fun. And then dinner at my mother-in-law's. Very simple, easy, chill weekend. I washed the Elantra and the Camry, got them all cleaned up because it was so nice outside on Sunday.
Well, we're back in new product testing mode.
That too. So we had a lot of products we got to test. So we've got, but we've got a busy. I'm working on a 84 Chevy pickup with single stage red.
Yeah, that red guy.
I've been working on Little Red for my buddy Wayne. It's coming out great, but it is a ton of work and it's a very slow process. And my shoulder's not 100%, so it's been painful to get a side done.
Get one more shot in there. I think they can fit one more.
They don't just hand those out.
Yeah, they probably could, but I'd probably they'd probably deny me. I feel like a junkie going in, like I need cortisone.
I need my fix.
Yeah. So I've had to slow it down, but I've got to get that truck done by the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm going to work on it a lot tonight to try and get a lot of it knocked out because we've got P&S coming. And I have a feeling we're going to be doing dinners and stuff.
We're going to be preoccupied.
So I won't be able to work on it. But I've got a vehicle coming in on Saturday, and I kind of want to get him. I want to be able to turn him over. So, so I'm going to have to throw down tonight, I think, and try and knock it all out. But as much as I can.
Yeah.
But it's cleaned it up really good, and it's been fun. I love red single stage. It's one of my favorite things to work on.
Heck yeah.
The difference is night and day.
Oh, it's instant gratification. It's messy. But it is amazing too. Just
kind of looks like Dexter the serial killer's work area when you're done.
Oh yeah, no, I've got red splattered everywhere. But yeah, no, it's awesome to be able to get all that. I just like playing with that stuff. It's fun. But we've got P&S coming, so we've got Dave Phillips, Bob Phillips, and Rennie Doyle coming tomorrow. They fly in the afternoon. They're going to be with us, so we are actually going to be doing Q&A Thursday.
Yes.
With them, which
will
be pretty fun. So you guys are going to want to tune in for that live on YouTube. So
naturally, have your bead maker questions ready, since there
you'll
have some.
You'll have the father of bead makers.
Yeah, what
right
better?
Here.
When we say, you're like, you should really talk to a chemist. You're asking some pretty technical questions. Like, here he is.
Yeah, there you go. So that'll be cool. But so that's kind of it.
How are we going to fit all those people in here for Q&A Thursday?
It's gonna get
I think
crowded.
I might sit that one out.
All right, you can.
I think I might sit that
Why
one
don't
out.
We all just sit
I
it
want
out and
I
just
want
give it to
Rennie
them.
Doyle to take my place.
We need one of us
Anthony.
in here to like help
He would be
moderate the
honored.
discussion.
He would. Rennie
He would be
love it.
honored. You mean I get to sit in your chair, Anthony?
I'd say absolutely.
The worst thing we can do is take a bunch of people who've never done a Q&A live before and just throw them to the wolves and be like, you deal with it. And then they gotta, oh wait, what?
Well,
and then Tim does the
questions?
what?
And that's
and
why we have to have the main show podcast director, media curator, director, Dane Hennen in the middle of all
creative
that.
director.
Creative director, yeah.
Yes.
Department head.
I creatively direct Anthony to sit in this room
He's got
and
department
conduct
head
it.
on his name tag, name badge.
Heck yeah, he does. So I'll sit down right here, and you can say, "Let's get started."
So
boom.
but
I was gonna say
it.
though, we have had a lot of videos since Dylan was here recently. We've been releasing a lot of Rupas videos.
We have a lot of Rupas videos out.
Make sure you go check those
Good
out.
on Tim. He's been he got 5 videos edited last week.
And
got
he's
a
a
bunch.
machine.
Machine.
A machine. 5 videos in 5 days.
And people are liking them, so that's the other fun thing. is people are watching
if
them
you
and
can, make
enjoying
sure
them.
you guys let Tim know what a good job he's done on those because he has worked very hard on those.
Yeah. So we have a couple really. I mean,
it's
really
a variety. That's a nice part.
Yeah, some informative ones, some fun ones, some with a little bit more entertainment on it. I mean, so we have Morgan and a couple here. The one we released yesterday is actually her using the new Mark III, right?
Yep.
And showing that the Mark III can be used by a beginner.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of questions about that. I mean, I see on, I mean, it really primarily on Facebook. There's so many questions that pop up into a lot of those Facebook groups asking things like, hey, I'm a beginner. I'm looking at getting a Rupes. Can I jump into this machine? Should I not jump in? Like, what are the trade-offs there?
Right.
And so I think Dylan does a good job laying it down for Morgan in the video and also your video on which is the best polisher to start out with, right? And I think there's just good information on there on the ES model, on the Mark II, while it still lasts, and as well as the Mark III, to replace that, because the Mark III is just extremely universal and extremely easy to use.
Yeah.
That variable speed trigger.
No,
really
I liked all the
difference.
videos. I thought they were really
Yeah, and we had another good one that was a comparison between the different tool movements.
Yep.
So you had the one where you had a dual action in the Mark III, and then you got the melee, which is gear driven, and then you got the rotary as your third, and you're basically talking about the pros and cons of each compared to one another. And I think that's really useful because you get those kinds of questions all the time. Yeah. People are always wondering, like, I don't get why you would use this if you already use this. Or you get the rotary people who see, like, absolutely no benefit to any other kind of tool, and they just refuse to touch anything else. Yeah. And it's like, okay, cool, that works for you, but here's why you may be interested in one of these others, or vice versa. If you try to DA and you're scared of a rotary for some reason, at least understand what it is and how it works.
Yep.
So all useful stuff. And I was going to point out, too, since you were actually part of this, I mean, Morgan, what did you think when you were getting to use a Mark III? I mean, you used a Mark II before, just when you were doing the video with Anthony for Wash Wednesday, but how was that experience, having Dylan show you how to use that stuff? And you got to use a melee, too.
Yeah, and I'd never used a melee before, so that was a little different. It wasn't, I feel like, as crazy as I thought it was going to be, of, like, a drastic difference, but you could still tell that it was a different machine. And then the Mark III, it's just really smooth. It just feels very easy to use. So that's why I felt like
it was more evolved, but still the same general idea.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're the one who's like newest to all this, so impressions are important. Hopefully it didn't scare you away from using one again. I mean, no. Now she wants to use more, I think. So well, we'll get to those Morgan Learns details soon. I promise you that. But in the meantime, we are in new product testing mode. We can't talk about what products, but we do have lots of stuff
and we've got
the works.
Lots of cleaning to do.
Yes. So much cleaning.
Our studio downstairs is finally clean. Well, cleared.
Yeah.
There's no more pallets of bead maker sitting on it.
Yeah. It was
literally pallets of bead maker.
Everything is either IK sprayers or bead maker just piled up on everything out in the warehouse.
And then Mega
You'd think
Crate.
we sell towels, but if you looked out there, you wouldn't be as sure.
Mega Crate was taking up a good portion of it. That's our SEMA booth.
Yeah.
And
where did that go?
It's over in the other warehouse.
It just disappeared. We have no.
No, it's there. They made a spot for it.
Did they collapse it or did they?
No, it is still. It's got the lids on it.
It's ready
everything.
for SEMA 2019, baby.
It's ready to go to SEMA again. I mean, it is. It's
Can't wait
crazy.
to go through that again.
I'm pretty sure John's blood is still on that crate from loading it from SEMA.
So
blood, sweat, and tears, guys.
Yeah, but that they moved Mega Crate, which is I don't know when they did it, but it is a feat that they were able to get that across
thing
the parking
is
lot. It's huge.
Big.
So
it's the size of this room.
Yeah, it is. It's about the size of this room. So they got all that cleared. They got our dance floor, as we call it, which is our main studio, cleared.
Yeah.
And so we went to the laundromat today. That was fun. We got to take Morgan
with us. What were you guys doing there? I didn't catch up on
We were doing laundry, Dane. We washed 5 loads of towels, 4 loads of towels, and a load of pads.
Yeah, there was so basically
4 garbage bags full.
How I look at it
is
this was towels that we have used.
It was
for the
basically
last
every towel.
Two clinics, several demos, lots of videos.
Basically all the towels we used for the last year.
There was a lot, and a lot of these weren't. I wouldn't say they're saturated or really gross, but a lot of them were just lightly used towels that we just didn't want to reintroduce. That we still needed to wash. So what we did is we pretty much piled them up in bags, bins, things like that. Then separated them out today and washed them. So all that's left to do now is to fold them and
actually separate them and fold them because they're just in 3 big garbage bags.
So I don't know who wants to do that. Maybe
they're
Dane.
And when I say big garbage bags, we're talking like
60
gallon bags.
Yeah,
big garbage bags.
Yeah, not baby garbage bags.
Not like 15-gallon trash bags like for your house.
So if I'm folding those, I literally need somebody to go carry it for me so I don't explode.
Oh yeah, no, you're gonna have
you're gonna sit crisscross applesauce and Dane's gonna go.
Yep. Just
just organize them by what they are so we can have them all out there. But that's gonna be.
And then we have shelving going in.
We have
on
shelving.
Our backdrop, that we see in our studio.
Something we meant to do years ago.
It's getting done Wednesday night,
which we're excited about because I think the hard part is, guys, is that backdrop that we have, that whole cabinet set. was such a, how do I describe it? Such a cool thing to add to our I guess to our studio, but also a very expensive thing to add to our studio.
It's full custom made cabinetry.
Yeah.
And it is
with
nice.
a custom wrap on it.
And a custom wrap on it. I mean, it is beautiful wood behind there.
So let's just say that we didn't want to drill any holes that we weren't sure if that was going to be a permanent fix, right?
Yeah.
And so now that we've finally done the measurements and we can say, hey, we can put maybe this chemical here, then we can put this towel here, we can put these brushes here. We made it to where we can finally drill into that without feeling too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that'll be good. So we're just trying to get the whole place cleared, ready to go. That way we've got our summer of doing videos, and PNS will be here. We've got a special friend coming to visit us, and then we've got the whole gang for April Fools. Dude, that'll be fun.
It's going to be wild.
We literally have like the next 3 weeks filled with people showing up, and we're going to be doing videos with them. So we needed that space cleared out for the next 3 weeks, and thankfully we don't have a container arriving.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a good thing.
Cool, Dane. Well, we might have to wrap this up 4 minutes early because we got things to do.
We do have things to do. So
stuff to do.
On that note, hey, just glad to be back here.
Yeah,
have all you
Dane,
guys
he's alive.
with me. It's nice. Feels good to be back. And yeah, so let's wrap this thing up. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you're on the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. I want to make sure that you are subscribed to both our YouTube channels because we do have two. Podcast goes on one, all our other videos go on the other. It just makes sense. We learned that from Rob Ferretti a long time ago. It just makes more sense that way. So, and if you haven't, I want to make sure you go and you leave us a rating or a review on iTunes. That's also really helpful because that gets us out in front of more people who haven't heard or seen us before.
Just let us know that everybody's happy Dane's alive. So if you could leave a comment.
You could leave a comment saying
Dane
you're not
alive.
happy I'm alive, and I'll take it into consideration as long as that review's there.
Just comment, hooray, Dane is alive. That would be awesome.
Let's see that.
With a Christmas tree emoji.
The Christmas tree is standing strong. It has not moved.
Well, it was waiting for you when you got home.
So it's still there.
Like a beacon. It was guiding you back home.
I mean, it is literally a beacon.
Yeah.
It lights up and everything. You see it from miles around. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. And I know I keep adding more things. Go follow us on Spotify. If you have Spotify, find our podcast on Spotify. There's a lot of people who have Spotify.
I don't have it.
I want to build up those numbers for our following on Spotify because that's a good thing.
Siri, follow Rag Company Podcast on Spotify.
There's a free version of Spotify, so you can do that. But anyway, guys, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we will catch you later next week.
See ya.